This episode is powered by Shocks, the world-leading open-ear headphones pioneer. Black Friday's here. Shocks starts their biggest sale over the year. Don't hesitate to get yourself a pair. Check out shocks.com.au for a brilliant product. Enjoy the episode.
That your skin can bring you so much pain. Now I hear you say you got the best of both ways. Won't you come and take a walk in my shoes and tell me if you take my place?
Welcome to episode number 369 of the Inside Running Podcast. Thank you for joining us for another week. Big show coming at you this week. We've got some patrons to thank. We've got some runner news out of Queensland, South Australia, America, and New South Wales. So a bit's happening there. We've got some whispers, listen to question. And Moose is back, so hopefully we have a nice Moose on the loose, which is going to bring us home at the end of the show. We'll also preview a bit of stuff that's coming up on the weekend, a big weekend of running coming at us. Welcome to my co-host, the man who was fourth at the 2009 Gold Coast Marathon 10K in a time of 30:23. Brad Croker, welcome from Canberra. How are you?
Good, Brady. Yeah, thanks for that. I suppose you've been digging today.
I went digging. I like to find a random result every week to introduce you by. And Lee Troop, the winner. Harry Summers, second. Mitch Keeley, third. And you're only about 5 seconds behind Mitch Keeley. He was...
Aussie rep.
1,500, wasn't he? It was pretty quick, 1,500.
3:36.
What year was this?
2009.
Oh.
Harry would have been young, but everyone else in their main,
He's an Olympian, two of them Olympians. Mitch Keeley went to the Olympics for the 1,500.
Mitch Keeley was the guy who fell over and broke his arm and then would race with plaster on one season. Was that him?
Yeah, I think he did fall over. It was, I guess, good, reasonably good field at the top end.
Pretty good time too, 30:23 on the roads. Not bad from you. I liked looking up that today.
You know where I would have read these results? In a Run for Your Life magazine.
Oh, I've got a box full of those in the shed, and occasionally I pull them out and just have a flick through.
Funny you say that, Moose, because I was actually wearing a Run for Your Life singlet in that event, and I had quite a bushy beard because it was in the, and you're going to give me shit about it, but it was in the lead up to the 2009 Prefontaine Memorial Run, which was in September. So I grew the...
You didn't win that, did you?
Yeah, I won that one, yeah. I grew the full beard, and then the week of the race, shaved down and just left the mo and the sidey. So, yeah, I was in a Run for Your Life singlet with a beard and pink. Oh, what were the shoes back then?
Lunar Racer?
Maybe the Spiders.
Oh yeah, Lunar Spider.
Lunar Spider, maybe, and they were pink.
Wasn't much of them either. Yeah.
Try and find a photo for you boys.
Oh, well, I know the photo you're talking about. I've seen you in that photo with the full beard, and now I know what race it's from. So you were representing Run for Your Life. For listeners out there, Run for Your Life was a magazine talking about Australian distance running. Came out once a month. Pretty much what we do in our news every week. It was real, deep roots of Australian distance running. Had some good interviews. Remember they had that Addy Runner program where they sponsored some people with Adidas. I reckon Jess and Liam, that was their kind of first sponsored gig.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, Dan Green, who owned Run for Your Life, he was coaching me at the time.
Okay.
And actually...
They had shops too. They had a running shop in Richmond.
Yeah. Did you get cash to wear the singlet, Croaks?
And then they had one in Canberra too. They moved around a bit. Actually, Brett Robinson used to work for the Run for Your Life shop in Canberra.
Okay.
When he was a junior.
Is that the only job he's had? Surely, he pretty much went to professional athlete pretty early, didn't he? That's not a dig at him. I'm just I don't know if he would have had many more jobs than that.
I think he may have spent 3 weeks at a massage course, and then he went, "No, this is not for me. I'm going to be a pro athlete."
Yeah,
I heard it was 6 hours at a massage course. 3 weeks. I heard it was 6 hours of a 2-day course, and that was enough.
Didn't expect this rabbit hole.
Yeah, I haven't even welcomed Moose to the episode yet. Moose, welcome to you to episode 369, the only Australian representative in the men's marathon that we sent to the 2019 World Champs. Joining us from Fiji in the office of the hotel, in something like that, aren't you? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in the operations manager's office because there's a bit of sing-song going on out there on the dance floor. You'll love this. I've got a daughter, 3-year-old, who just has to be on every single dance floor she can find, and I avoid the dance floor like a plague. So I have some real awkward evenings. I try to race off after dinner before they start singing, and she's just like searching for the person with the guitar.
Surely you've got up a few times, haven't you? You got on the dance floor.
I've had to. You have to. Your daughter comes and asks you to dance. You got to get up.
And Moose, how did you manage to get into the manager's office? Did you say you heard of Inside Running podcast before? I need to use your office.
We'd be big in Fiji, wouldn't we?
I don't think running's big in Fiji. Just from what I've seen so far here, this resort is like on a small island with one other resort, which is like an adults only. So there's fences up. You can't go there from the resort we're staying at. And the only possible running is like a 600-metre up and down the pathways that take everyone to their accommodation. So you can go up it's about, I'm going to say it's up 300 metres, back 300 metres. And if you want to do a run, that's what you've got. So I've been on Strava. The furthest that I can find anyone run at once is 7K. Like back through pretty much everyone's runs. I was bored one afternoon and I thought that was a pretty good effort, 7K on a 300-metre out and back.
I see there's
not a great place to run.
I see there's a sperm loop on Strava, Moose. You're going to get that crown before you come home?
You know, I wish I could, but I'm not sure I'm in the shape to get that right now. I haven't a look. I went for 2 runs. I'm still injured, and the second run was the one that really put a nail in my coffin of current running. It was like I didn't record last week, so I like to cut a long story short. I got an MRI, showed that I had bursitis that was causing my hip pain. There weren't really any other findings that were relevant, so I sent it off to a friend, Lee Moselle, who is from South Australia, who's a radiologist, and he came back with the same findings that the report had. So I went and got a cortisone injection, guided under ultrasound, with the intention to sort of knock it on its head. Took a couple of days off, went for a couple of runs since then, and no good. So I'm going to take an extended break from running. For me, that's like 3 to 4 weeks, I think, of nothing, just to let it all settle and let the body get back to base, call it that, because at the moment it's not feeling great.
Were they confident it was going to work though? Like, was that a shock that it didn't work?
Nah, not really. I've had a shitload of injection cortisones, and I reckon out of the 10 that I've had, maybe 3 have given me some sort of relief. I reckon I've probably had a 30% strike rate with them, and none of them have been injection, walk out, not feel it again, like the dream is. So yeah, I'm like not that confident with them compared to some people that have had just brilliant success there. When I first started to get injuries, and I thought that was just the magic cure, the cortisone injection, but history for me suggests it isn't.
And did they say what triggered it? Like, was it one thing that pointed to it?
It's the hills for me. That's what's loaded it up. It's the hills combined with the volume coming back. I reckon Melbourne Marathon potentially created some dramas, considering how fucked I was running for 90 minutes just on an absolutely cooked body. So I reckon that actually played a part. And then when I started to come back, nothing was right. And then I overloaded it with hills and just put myself in a proper hole.
Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it?
I've had this before, actually. Probably like going to say about 20, when did I have it? 2013 maybe. And it took a little bit to get back running. Like I remember I had a few restarts before I could actually run. So I know that I'm in for a bit of a patient waiting game with it. I'm just in the gym a lot now because there is surf in Fiji, but I didn't bring my board and there's none on this island. So I've just been in the gym, punching some weights, doing a bit of upper body for the first time in a very long time.
Any cross training? Like, is it doing your head in, not being able to like run and get that endorphin hit?
No. Look, what I'm struggling with right now is the fact that my running career is pretty much finished, and I still have never come to terms with that properly because I've always been able to get back to like a semi-decent fitness level. Like a year ago, I was trying to break 220, and even 2 months ago, I felt like I could run pretty well at Melbourne, but I feel like there's something's changed now where I just can't string them together, and my body just has letting me down so often that I'm kind of just got to come to terms with the fact I'm not going to be doing it where I want to do it anymore, and I've got to stop this. I've got to break this full obsession with it, because I just keep thinking, like, no matter how well business is going and like all the other stuff out there that you might feel satisfied with, I'm still just never really as happy as when I can get out there and run as much as I want and dedicate everything to running fast. Like I just think back to the training camps that I've been on and think, that was the glory days. Like I just loved waking up, thinking about what I had to do to get better at running, had not much to do during the day except get better at running, and then go to bed thinking about the next day of running. I just loved having one single goal, one obsession that I just lusted after. That was me. That's the way I work. And so I need to break that. I need to sort of get out of that mindset, and it's probably going to take a little bit of time away from the sport to do it.
Yeah, it's hard, Moose, when it's been like such a big part of your life, and what you're saying now reminds me of that article that you wrote for was it Runners Tribe when you were living in Ballarat, and there was this real, and I didn't know you at the time, but it was that. Like, I absolutely love it. Like, although I'm getting out in the morning and I've got the bloody head torch on and, I'm trying to combine it with work, I wouldn't swap it for the world because I absolutely love doing it. Do you remember that article?
I remember, yeah. I think I was in Geelong at the time, actually, and I was just working in the store there. But, yeah, I do remember that. And I remember, I would still be that person if my body would let me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So I have got to refocus. And this trip's been good for that because I got to spend extended period with the family, which I haven't really been able to do because of the new store opening. And I might get to spend an hour or two here with Pia, but I'm literally spent every single hour of the day with her for a good 7 days. And you bond a little bit better like that. You get to sort of work out their little intricacies and deal with the meltdowns where I normally don't do that. So it's been good for me this trip, and I'm going to come back and not expect to run for a while, and I'll have to find some other focuses because I do think people need a release, and hopefully I can get back in the water surfing. That's kind of what I'm planning on doing.
I guess it's hard for you as well, Moose, because
he ain't retiring, Croaks. I don't like what I'm hearing. Maybe the 214 days are gone, Moose, but you can still just run flat. Don't do anything stupid in training. Do 6 months of boring stuff, and you can still run 218.
Yeah, I'm the one that retires on this show, Moose.
Yeah. I'm shaking my head at this.
I'm not retiring.
It sounds like you're retiring.
I can't retire because it's not my job.
No, but it sounds like
you're I've never had a career.
Yeah, let's stay away from those words.
I need to stop thinking like that. You'll never be, at the moment, I'll never be happy if that's constantly nagging at me, thinking that's what you've got to get back to and that's what you're missing out on. And I need to remove that element for me to, I think, be content. because that is the problem. Me going out for a 15-minute run automatically makes me think, okay, now how are we going to fucking break 220?
Yeah.
From like, and I can't think like that. I got to think, okay, that's a 15-minute run, cool. What are we doing tomorrow? I might go for a surf, or the next day, or maybe I'll run 20 minutes with the dog the day after. I need to start being content with that before I can start thinking ahead. And I've just got to stop making it such a competitive thing.
Yeah, you need
it's
to
hard.
Like,
That's who we are,
reset.
though, Moose. It's like it's why we sort of love the sport and been reasonably good at it, is because of that. You know, you always want to be better than what you've been in the past, and obviously you get to a point in your life where you can't do that anymore, and that's what I've been battling with probably the last 3 years. I'm too stubborn to stop.
You get jaded. You get a bit jaded too, and I still look back now and I get jealous of people that are stringing weeks together and having success. And even today, I'm thinking about Christian, and I'm thinking this bloke, like, he's been going so well, and he's been running so much, and I reckon I had some jealousy about how well he was doing, and I'm like, oh, he'll fuck it up soon. You almost like looking at people going, celebrating their fuck ups a bit, like going, oh, this bloke cooked that race. How good was that? It's great to see. And I don't know why I think like that, and I realised today that it's because I'm jealous of what they're able to do. And I'm jealous that they're being able to put the training together to get there, and they're having success. And it's not it's something I'm admitting that I'm not proud of, but it's definitely sour grapes for me when I see other people having success with running and my body failing.
Takes a lot of guts to admit that, Moose.
Yeah, well, it's
pretty good
that.
screenshot there too, Croaks.
Past it now.
I don't know where that conversation went. I'm just a bit of a master reset, Moose. Default reset. Turn you off at the PowerPoint, turn you back on.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
like that.
You're not giving it away. You just got to go back and figure it out from square one.
Yeah, and I think I need that. I need it, and there'll be no pressure coming back when I start running again. The body will have to feel good for more than one day in a row. I might have to go through a week where I don't feel this little niggle, because at the moment I feel it when I walk, feel it when I do a squat, go upstairs, everything. So I got to get the body nice and healthy, and then I'll just reintroduce some light stuff, and I'll still be around running, still be taking care of the Roo Run, which, by the way, entries are flooding in. So get yourself sorted for Roo Run. December 27th in Anglesey. It's premier run on the Surf Coast. You didn't really get much pump up last week when I was off the show, unfortunately.
Is Croaks in?
Last 2 weeks.
Entry? Croaks seems to come in?
My parents are down visiting for Christmas, so I won't be able to get there.
Where are they now? On the sunny coast?
Sunshine Coast, yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, all right. Brady's down there.
I'm a lock, Moose, yep. I'm glad to hear. That means my ambassador role's going well if the entries are rolling in. Did anyone try to use Frother 15 as like to get 15% off their entry?
Oh, I've got to throw some... There's going to be a big battle of the bridge maybe between Torquay and Anglesey footy clubs down here, the 2 grand finalists showing off in the Roo Run, cross-country style scoring.
Yeah, I like that. Toby Mendes running as well. I was going to have that for my Whisper segment later on, but he's committed to it. Oh, yeah. The bad boy.
Well, funnily enough, he just signed up for Anglesey Football Club pre-season, so he might actually score for Anglesey.
What, he's going to play footy?
Nah, well, we'll see. You don't have to commit to run for the footy club.
Yeah, so the footy club could suck you in too. Now I'm seeing where this conversation's going, Croaks.
Yeah, I love it.
Take a backward step from running. He'll go play reserves for Anglesey Footy Club.
Reserves,
kick
mate.
12.
I don't play reserves football.
Well, you've got to kick 12. You're not going to do that in the seniors, so you may as well do it in the resis.
I don't play reserves, but we'll see. I've actually been doing a lot of bench press, been doing a lot of chin-ups. You'll see when you come down. I'm trying to get the body being able to handle maybe a few training sessions, throw a few bumps here and there, come off first best, not second best like I used to.
Good. All right. Croaks, what have you been doing? When are you back, Moose, from Fiji?
Oh, I come back 2 days from now. I'll be back on deck.
Yep. Okay. Croaks, over to you.
Yeah, I had a pretty good week. So don't be too jealous and don't hate me too much, Moose. But I kicked off Monday after work, and up until this point, I hadn't really been enjoying my running that much since Melbourne. Like just the combination of like my Achilles and just hip and back and things just not flowing the way that it should, and like maybe it just took it's more time than I thought to actually start to feel good again after the marathon. Whereas a few of the people that I coach, who are obviously a fair bit younger, it's like 1 or 2 weeks after the marathon, they're like jumping out of their skin, ready to sort of get back into it and are absolutely killing it. And I'm just like, I'm struggling. So anyway, went out not expecting too much, but I actually felt quite good. I did 46 minutes, 4:24s. I reckon I saw about 5 echidnas. There are like so many echidnas in Mulligan's Flat at the moment. So titled it Echidna Season. And then
Nature Reserve, right?
Nature Reserve, yep. So there's a big fence around it, and there's so many of them. So obviously, I think I read somewhere that they're breeding like end of winter, early sort of spring, and then that's sort of after that all the action. But yeah, there's a lot out there at the moment. Tuesday afternoon. Remember I was speaking about tracks last week, Brady, about how it's hard to get. Was it last week or the week before?
Yeah,
so,
week before, busy.
Yeah, so I sent a message out Monday saying, all right, guys, we're going to go to the AIS track because a few of the guys I'm coaching have got track races coming up. Looked at the timetable for the AIS and it's like, yep, Tuesday, 3:30 p.m. to 7, it's open. And then Tuesday morning, somebody sends me a screenshot going, they're closing the track at, was it 5 o'clock or something like that? And I'm like, well, most people I coach finish work at 5 o'clock. So like, there's no way we can do the session now. And I heard on the Sunday long run with Leanne that the reason why it got closed was for a rugby team or something. It's just like, it was just crap. So anyway, we went to Thoroughbred Park. Session I did was 6 3-minute reps and 4 30-second reps. So it was a bit hot and windy. So basically every rep, so I basically get through 1 lap. Basically 2 reps takes me 1 lap. So every rep I was having half into a headwind, half with a tailwind. We kicked off with a couple of 30-second reps to start with. And then the 3-minute reps were 3:15, 3:21, 3:14, 3:19, 3:13, 3:15, and then the 30-second reps. I did 3 with the tailwind, so it was 2:43, 2:42, 2:41, and then 1 back, bit of a crosswind, headwind, 2:44. So, solid session, like nothing super impressive, but felt way better than I did the last time we were out there, which was the first session back after the marathon where I pulled the pin after 7 2-minute reps. So, so that was pretty good. Wednesday.
That's a 31 second. Is it 31, 32 second 200? But you're running on grass? Or like dirt?
It's like dirt. But like, I don't know how accurate these 30-second reps are. But like it says here, I was doing 180 meters in 30 seconds. Yeah, So it's like two
about that.
240s is 64-second lap pace, so that'd be 32s. So it's probably 32s.
32s in the dirt.
Yeah. 33
in the dirt,
at
mind
44 years of age.
33s maybe. Yeah.
I've listened to the podcast last week. He's complaining about not having any speed or pace or anything like that. Hamming it up.
That's not quick. That's not that quick, is it?
What do you mean? You're on dirt, mate. You're on dirt. You're fucking 87 years old.
Moose, I'm going to ask you something at the end of this week. See if you can identify a trend in his training.
All right. So then Wednesday, I got out for about 75 minutes, 4:27s, listened to the Liam Bouden interview, Brady. That was good. Speaks really well, doesn't he?
Yeah, interesting fella. I didn't know he was a lawyer, like smart guy.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that. Made the run go like fairly quick, and then that afternoon actually got out for a second run because I did say that I wanted to try and increase the amount of doubles that I was doing. So I did 7K, 4:18s. Then Thursday morning, so we had Viv's grandmother's funeral on Thursday. So I didn't go to work. So I ran in the morning with Lily on the bike. And this was the first time that I ran in, well, they're calling it a Mizuno mystery shoe. So it's not released yet. But I absolutely loved it. Like, I put a photo up on my Strava. The way I would explain it, like, I was a big fan of the Neo Vista, but it was because it had a big cutout down the middle and was sort of two pieces, it was a little bit unstable at times, whereas this one's now filled in and it's basically a more stable version of the Neo Vista. But, like, I really rate Mizuno foam. I just feel like if they could get their geometry right for a race shoe, I reckon they're onto something pretty special. So, yeah, I guess more information will come out about that. So that was, what was it, just under 10K at 420s. And then Friday, jumped on the treadmill. So I've sort of been progressing this each week. 2 weeks ago, I did 4 by 6 minutes at, I think, 17K an hour, or like 3:30s. And then the week before, and then the next week, I did 5-6 minutes. I think 3 reps at 17K an hour, 2 at 17.5. Whereas this week I did 1 rep at 17K, 4 reps at 17.5. Which, yeah, like, heart rate sort of maybe maxed out at like mid 160s. But because I'm in the garage and it's starting to get a bit hotter, the perceived effort feels just a little bit higher when you can feel like the sweat sort of dripping down your leg, and you're like, oh, it's just more uncomfortable than it would be sort of outside. But I'm really enjoying these sessions, and I find I do get quite fit on the treadmill, just because I feel like I'm probably running in the right zones a lot of the time. Then that afternoon got out.
You got a big fan going?
Not one of those. Yeah, not the size fan that I should have. One of those big industrial ones. I've just got a couple of fans, one sort of either side of me. But I probably will invest in a big fan.
Worth it. You just can't hear anything. It just gets super loud.
Yeah. That being said, like, I feel like 6-minute reps is pretty manageable. Even if it's reasonably hot, it's okay. Like, to then jump off for a minute. I walk out of the garage, even like turn the tap on and just sort of wet my face. And so I can cool down a fair bit in that 1 minute, so that I don't feel, whereas if I was doing like a 30-minute continuous session or fartlek, then it would be way more uncomfortable than just the 6-minute reps off a minute recovery.
What kind of pace are we talking? What's 17K, 17.5K an hour? Yeah,
so 3:30s. And then, yes, I did 3:30s for 1 rep, and then the rest of them were like 3:26s.
Yeah. So what comes up on your Strava is pretty accurate.
Oh, that's because I do the treadmill sessions with the Coros. So I just set the speed, and I just basically lap it every 6 minutes, and then just pause the watch, and then when I start again, lap it, and
gotcha.
But you change the treadie through the workout though.
Yeah, I do, but like that time, I only had to change it on the after the first rep, because I just keep it running in the minute recovery at the same speed.
Yeah.
So that afternoon got out into Mulligan's, 8K at 4:24s. Saturday morning at the moment is my least enjoyable run, because I need to get it done before Lily's little A's. So this was a 6:40 start. So everything's a bit creaky, but I think better than the week before. So that was an hour at 4:25s. Then Sunday, haven't really had a long run. Oh, actually, so 2 weeks after Melbourne, I think I did a long run with like Dick Telford's group. But outside of that, it's pretty much been solo long runs. So Saturday night, message like Zach and Rob saying, you guys keen? Rob's like, I'm at a wedding, so I'm pretty unreliable. Zach was in, and then Leanne messaged me asking whether I was doing a long run. So I said, yeah, look, I'm going to do probably an hour 45. So she was keen. Sunday morning, Zach calls me. He's like, won't be at the long run. Gone downstairs, my car's been stolen. So
really?
Yeah. And then
camera stuff.
Yeah, so I messaged him last night, said, any word on your car? He's like, no, unfortunately. He said, I'm going through the security because he's in a unit complex. So he said he'll be going through the video with the management and the cops like today. So he was a no-show. So it was just Leanne and myself, and she had 2 hours. So I ended up doing 2 hours with her, 28, just under 29K, 4:11s. I actually felt really good on this run. It's definitely the best long run I've had since Melbourne. And by the end of the run, I think it was maybe 25 degrees. So, and even in the last sort of half hour, I still felt fairly strong, maybe a bit dehydrated, but it was a pretty a confidence building week. Like none of the sessions are amazing, but in terms of enjoyment and how I felt running, it was way better than it has been. And it was a 128K for the week.
Yeah, do that for a month and you'll be fit as.
Yeah, hopefully.
Do you get any insight from that, Moose? Anything stand out to you?
Anything stand out compared to what Croaks normally does?
Been a bit of a trend the last couple of weeks as well.
Some of his recovery runs have been slower.
Yeah, they have. Only one jog for the week, which was his long run, quicker than 4:18K pace. He's hovering a lot around that 4:25, 4:30. He's learnt over the years.
4:27. When he said 4:27, I thought, hold up, this isn't right.
I don't know if I've learned anything. I think it's just that I'm old and I'm getting slower. Perceived effort's probably the same.
Yeah, no, I like it from you, Croaks.
Keep it up, though. This is you're like real easy trap to fall into when you get a little bit of fitness under your belt, just to start smoking them again.
I think the heat is probably also playing a factor. Like I'm realising that, 4:27 in the heat's probably a sub 4:20 anyway. So I am making a conscious effort to slow down a little bit.
But it isn't on your body. So the mechanical loading. The mechanical loading at 4:10 pace is different to 4:30 pace, and so it might be heart rate the same, but 4:10 pace puts a lot more stress through the body, especially through the calves. And so your Achilles, your calf at 4:10 is doing a lot more work than at 4:30.
Yeah. I'm also, I think as well, because my focus over summer is not so much like longer events, like I don't really care as much about trying to build an aerobic engine by running faster. Like I'm probably focusing more on just the sessions. And as long as I'm hitting 120 to 130K a week, I don't really care about anything outside of the sessions and the overall volume.
You're still pacing those boys on the track?
Well, they're racing actually so there's a 5K, a 3K and a 5K down here this Saturday night. I think I've got like 10 athletes running, a couple coming down from Sydney, Zach. And so those like top three guys will be low 15 minutes. I was going to, but like I'm still not registered, and I feel like at the moment I've just sort of found a bit of a groove. So I think I'm better off just training through for a few more weeks.
Yeah, you know what I got from that, Moose? Doesn't want to pay his fees. That's exactly what he's thinking.
Yeah. Well, for
paying his fees to do a pacing job. He'll need someone to pay
potentially those. one pacing job.
Exactly. I know you've been thinking about this. I'm going to whip through this week.
Aren't you a life member somewhere yet?
Yeah, surely. He's a life member of 8 different athletics clubs because he always jumps around.
Well, see, that's why I'm not a life member of a club, because I have jumped around.
Very good. I'm going to whiz through this week. Monday, 70 minutes at 4:33 pace. Nothing to report there. Nice, easy recovery jog. Tuesday, win the morning, win the day, Croaks. Started the workout at 11 a.m. Not by choice. I have a lot of stuff to do. I'm like the dad in charge of the children on a Tuesday morning. So we're running around to daycare, and then Hudson goes to school for an hour, and then I kind of come home and do the dishes, hang the washing on the line, get lunch boxes ready, go pick him up, then take him to kinder. So it's not until about 10:30 that I can start my day on a Tuesday. So I met up with Archie, I reckon. Yeah, I did 6 by 5 minutes off 1 minute slow jog. Averaged 3:14s, which I think this is probably the best workout I've done since Chicago. We felt smooth, we kind of hit that pace pretty comfortable. The minute jog was super slow, like probably 5.5, 6 minute kind of K pace, just to really get the heart rate down before hitting the next one. So enjoyed that. It was getting pretty hot pretty quick too. Wednesday, 16K at 4:32s. I got out for an Arvo double, first one in about 6 weeks. So I got out, did 7K in 4:20s. Met up with Josh, who was in town from Albury, Wodonga. He was paddling on the Murray River. So it was good to have some company for that one. Wore that same shoe you're talking about, Croaks, that Mizuno Mystery shoe. I'm a very big fan of it as well. It feels like a racing flat that's a jogging shoe. Like I had to reread the email they sent us to be like, should I be wearing this for easy jogging? Like it very much feels like you could get going in it.
Are you sort of the same though, Brady, where you feel like they've sort of nailed the foam? If they can just get the geometry and the weight of a race shoe and the plate and everything, like like I think they could be the real deal.
Oh, yeah, well, I thought their first, like, or maybe it wasn't the first, maybe it was the second Rebellion Pro. Remember, like, going into Valencia, I was going to wear it. But, yeah, I was a big fan of that. And then I felt like the two after that got a bit more aggressive. So I haven't really done a lot in those two, but I was a big fan of that first one. Moose, you're going to be stocking it, and when are they releasing it?
Yeah. So I'm actually not sure about how much I can say, because there's a lot that I want to say about what you just said and what Croaks was saying in different directions, actually. Let me just see the latest comms on this as to what I can say.
And I've only run 15Ks in it. Like, this is very much like honeymoon period for me. I'm like, whoa, this is... But in saying that, I've only put it on twice because I'm like, this is so different. And I just like, I can't be wearing this every day, because then you could never jog in anything else ever again.
Yeah. Like, I also want to save it for maybe, like, I don't know, like I've only run in it once, and I don't know, like save it for maybe when I'm going a bit better, and maybe do some sessions in it.
Well, I'm saving it just for doubles, because I'm like, oh, I'm dreading the double. It's like, oh no, but you get to wear that shoe. Like, so that's where I'm saving it for at the moment. So keep an eye on that. I know Nitta is very up and about with that shoe. So, big fan. Thursday, did a track workout, met up with Josh again. We did 4 sets of 400, 300, 200 off 200 metre slow jog for everything. Kind of like 68, 69 for the 4s, 50, 51 for the 300s, 32, 33 for the 2s. So not quite down as quick as Croaks was, but I'm starting to feel good on the grass track, starting to feel good, bit faster work. It's a pretty nice workout, like 3.6K worth of running at like 250 pace or quicker. So, enjoyed that. And good bang for your buck, like you're over in like 20 minutes and get to work after that. So, enjoying the track stuff, and it was good to have some company there as well to share some reps. Friday, 60 minutes at 4:31s. Listen to Road to Valencia. We should have renamed that show the Boys Under Attack from Croaks Moose. He was peppering them. No one was safe on that show. He wants Chriso on the next flight out there.
Harder, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, he was trying. He was trying.
It wasn't until I started to think about Chriso's week that I'm like, I reckon I could have been a bit more critical.
You could almost hear when it dropped for you. You're just like, hang on, this week's very large. Like, as you was reading it, you were putting it together. So that's good. It's all going to be interesting to see how that pans out this weekend. And then Saturday, we met up pretty early, Archie and Anthony. It was like 22 degrees overnight, so I think we met at 6:30 a.m. for the warm-up. Did a 6K progression run again. These are the funnest thing. In this, like, random, like, phase of training I'm in, this is the funnest workout I'm doing at the moment. So, and I had some company. It's a good workout to do with somebody else. So the plan was, I said to Archie, start at 3:30s and we'll cut down 5 seconds every K, which means the last K is going to be 3:05, and with a license to run that K as quick as we want. But the minimum is we need to run at 3:05. And then I said, you can take the first K, make sure it's 3:30, because if we go too quick, it just means we're jumping to second, third, fourth level of the workout too quick. So he did go too quick. He ran the first K in 3:25, and then we went 3:20, 3:16, hooked a U-turn, 3:10, 3:5, and 2:53. Got rolling at the end there. Got the win, boys. Got him in the last couple of 100 metres. Really, I was probably at 98%. Yeah, I had 100 metres of like kick finish left in me. Heart rate would hit 180, which has to be close to my max. But yeah, it was good. I love that workout.
Yeah. They are good sessions. I used to do it with not K reps, but just 5-minute intervals.
Yeah, well, you could pick and choose, couldn't you?
So I'd do 30 minutes and sort of same thing, start at 3:30s and pretty much run the last 5 minutes at close to 3-minute Ks. And it also shows how strong you are, because I used to give this to some people that I coach, and the athletes that weren't aerobically strong really struggled with this one. Whereas I think if you're strong, like it suits you. Because obviously if you're not strong, you're probably working pretty hard halfway through the session and you can't progress it.
Yeah, it teaches you to be disciplined too, like not get carried away early. It like teaches you to be able to understand different paces, so like be in tune with your body. And because I remember when we turned, Archie picked it up a bit, and I said to him, I'm like, this is too hot. We need to go up another 2 levels from this. Like if we go too hot in the 4th K, we're not going to be able to go again in the 5th and 6th. So yeah, fun workout to do. And I think it kind of simulates a race. really well. Like that last K is probably the closest you get to feeling or maybe because we're kind of probably racing each other, but it gives you that, like you're sitting, that fifth one, you're almost like, this is fast, but you know you still got a gear to go. Yeah, it's fun to work out. I recommend people doing it.
It's also a good one when motivation's fairly low, because you know that the first part of the session is going to be comfortable. And often when your motivation's low, once you're actually in the workout and you know, a quarter, a third of the way through, you're like, oh, this is not so bad. And then you actually do start to progress and kick down. So, yeah, it's good for various reasons, that one.
Yeah, well, put it this way. I don't think, I could do it, but I would find it really challenging to go out and run 6K at 3:10s, 3:11s. Whereas this ended up averaging 3:12s, 3:11s. And because you kind of wind it up as much as you do. So that was fun. And then, Sunday got out for 95 minutes, 4:22s. Anthony on the bike again, which was good. Main conversation was barge boats, boys. So we're talking about boats, you know, like barge boats on the river. Archie's dad, Anthony's got one, which is a pretty nice boat. You know, the ones that are like, just like cruisers. Not like a speedboat, not a tinny, something in between.
Isn't a barge like some sort of functional boat? Like
my boat knowledge isn't great, to be honest, boys. But yeah, they're called barge boats on the river here.
All right, and it's a cruiser, like a yacht type thing.
Yachts like it has a motor. Yeah,
I thought a barge.
Yeah, I thought a barge. Here we go. A barge is a flat-bottomed vessel which does not have its own means of mechanical propulsion.
Yeah, I just googled it. And it doesn't look like anything that comes up in Google, so I could have that wrong.
That's the kind of barge that I'm thinking about. The one that actually carries stuff.
Type in barge boats Murray River. See what comes up.
Yeah,
it's maybe something.
This is a barge carrying freight.
Yeah, one I've got. The picture I've got here is like, got shipping. Like it's a flat, like I don't know, flat with like shipping containers on it.
Yeah, we're murdering this.
And it's being towed by another boat.
Yeah,
you've murdered this, not us.
Yeah, so it's almost it almost looks like a trailer. It looks like a trailer for a boat. Yeah, it's basically.
It's not. I might have my terminology wrong, and Anthony, I apologise, but he's got a really nice boat. So, that's that. How fit do you reckon I am, though, Crooks? Do you reckon? Because I'm doing stuff all Ks. I think I've averaged like 80K for the last, or 90K for the last 5 weeks, but I feel like reasonably fit.
Well, I was going to ask you, like, so why the 3 sessions a week? And when we change back to 2 or
when does the Summer of Malmö end? Yeah, I'm not sure.
No. The Summer of Malmö is not this. This was a good week of training, but this was not that. And I listened to you butcher that last week on the podcast and the week before. Because I read this Summer of Malmö years and years ago when I found it on there, and it pretty much says don't do any of the stuff you've done. Like specifically,
I did say I was making a few edits to it.
Oh, it's not. I don't get the bit where it's anything like what it. Like you're not doing anything. It says.
Yeah, well, I guess this is just like a fun stage of training for me where I'm like, nothing stresses me. I'm not chasing mileage. There's not much stress on my family or my job because I'm not doing doubles. So I'm in this like holding pattern until I feel like I can launch from this spot. I described it to someone the other day. I'm like, if I do 4 weeks of 100-mile weeks, I can go from 70% fit to 90% fit really quick, I feel. But I actually think I'm maybe fitter than 70% fit doing this. I'm covering some bases.
You've go and find a race.
Might have some news about that soon. Inbox has been lighting up, Croaks. A couple of offers have come in.
Run. You've already
Roo Run.
Run?
Yeah, Roo Run. Froth 15 for 15% off your entries. Yeah, I'll do that. But maybe a bigger race. Something early next year.
Yeah. Money,
April.
Money talks, eh?
I don't know. We're just maybe helping a little up and coming race get off the ground. You know what I like?
Moose?
I like helping races, build their reputation around town.
You know what I like about it? You know what I like about it is that you're a runner, not a fucking influencer, gym goer, half celebrity, post football player that they're paying to come to their event, and that the brand, like let's say Lululemon's looking after runners, because all I see at the moment is these cheap wins from running companies and races, and pretty much those two things, running companies and races, and the industry just chasing the cheap influencer win in terms of the promotion that they're using. Like I've seen some horrible stuff out there from people that have no business talking about running, being the key promoter for a certain running product or event. Just it's starting to take off even more than it was.
Yeah, you'd have plenty of time on your phone over there too, wouldn't you? Sitting by the pool on Instagram.
A bit of time here. The Wi-Fi's been okay. The Wi-Fi's been all right, and it just continually pops up for me. And I just keep thinking, like, pay a runner. This should be their world. And maybe it's not the right way to go. Maybe the brands get more value from paying some, I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody here. This is the tricky bit. And I'm not being elitist. I just want our athletes to be supported. And who should be supporting them but the running industry? And if the running industry aren't supporting our athletes by finding roles for them and by putting them on a bit of a pedestal for these events and the promotion of these products, then who will? Certainly not the non-running community. We don't get that sort of love. That's for footy players and swimmers or whatever. But the running community needs to look after its own. And that's what I'm seeing a lack of lately.
Yeah, we spoke about a couple of years ago with Sinead at my Melbourne Marathon, remember? That's when it first started, getting a bit of coverage. Why pick, why not have her, the record holder, the Olympian,
a Nike athlete.
Yeah, Nike athlete, the Australian record holder. What other boxes she has to tick? But then it comes down to, so if you've got someone who has 50,000 followers and spends their day creating Instagram content and you want that person to do it for your race, they're going to get more leverage, more coverage out of that person, Moose, on social media.
I know. I get it. I understand why they're doing it. It doesn't mean I have to like it.
And we're in the podcast lane, so we're kind of lucky because I find social media very difficult to navigate. And I've got to put certain stuff up, and I'm always it's the post that I'm like, oh, what am I going to do this month kind of thing. It creates dramas for me as well, and I get it. And I think runners naturally aren't good at that stuff, whereas we got these people coming into our space who are really good at it, that then just take all the deals because they make it look so good and so easy, and they're so good in front of the camera.
Well, just on that, there was a post that came out from Runners Tribe. Oh,
it was Inside Athletics. I read the same one.
Yeah, I was looking for you on there. And you were looking for you on there too, I bet.
No, well, I had a comment. They listed, the top 10 most influential runners in Australia. But
that's right.
They only looked at follower count, though.
Yeah, so...
Which I don't think those 10 people are the most influential. I think they've got a whole lot of followers.
Michelle Janicki, is she the most influential runner in athletics? I don't know, I'm just saying. Bree Masters, 280. Nina Kennedy, 197,000. Taylor Willis, I know he went to the Olympics, but I just don't really know anything about him. 170,000. Liz Clay, 168,000. And then Jess Hull's the first distance runner at 164. And Jen Gregson, my bad. She comes after at 150. There's no other man in it. So the only man in the top 10 influential athletes was Taylor Willis. So what does that say to you? That women have more influence in the sport than men do?
Wow, we were talking about a sport here as sprinting and distance running. So they've... And
it's athletics.
Is it athletics in general, well. Yeah. I'm just...
There was a jumper. Nina Kennedy was third.
Oh, yeah. She was Olympic gold medalist, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
I mean, that's fair enough.
That's fair enough. You have to go into more than just their follower count to actually figure out how influential, don't you? Surely.
Yeah, you've got to. It's got to be more than that. That's just how many people are actually seeing that. You know how easy it is to buy followers, or it used to be? Yeah. There's people out there that have 50,000 followers that come 10th at AV cross country, and they don't, they get put up a post and have 3 people like it. It's that's not influential just based off follower count.
I was listening to this thing the other day. It was it was talking about social media, business people saying, and they were saying that every 1,000 downloads on a podcast is worth 10,000 followers on Instagram, because the audience is, so they were kind of valuing it because the audience chooses to engage in your, like they're making a decision to go, hey, I'm going to listen to this podcast for the next 60 minutes. So they're 100% engaged in your content. Whereas if they're a follower, they might not even come up in your feed, or like you're not engaging with it, or like, does that make sense? They were going with like, so I was like, oh shit, Croaks, you got a full, that's pretty good reach for you, Croaks. If we start looking at our numbers, times 10,000 for every 1,000 listeners. I'm like, you could argue that Croker is, well, I'd argue that you're more influential than most of those people in distance running, probably other than Jen and Jess there, Moose, because you're in the shoe world and you're in the podcasting world, and you've got like a couple of different hats you wear.
I'm not sure whether I influence anybody anymore. I'd say like someone like Jen is probably ranked higher on that list, because she owns certain demographics. I reckon she would have a very strong, Jen and Jess might have less followers, but I think those two would have a very strong influence in the rec running world, given that they're like mothers and they're quite like open about their journey as mothers. And I think a lot of people that come into our store, which, I mean, that's where I get a lot of my feel for what people are seeing and who is influencing people, is just the customer in our store. It's probably like the most average runner in the country. Like we get 10 of them every few hours. And I reckon those are the names that get mentioned quite a bit.
You can kind of see it when you look at the reels. So like, because you can see how many people have actually watched it. So like Jen's got 150,000 followers, and then she's done a True Protein, like promo video, and it had like 18,300 views. So like, it's not it's a small percentage of what her actual followers are. Like, and I'm sure she's got some videos. Yeah, like Melbourne Marathon winning, 144,000 people viewed that one. But just because you got 150,000 followers doesn't mean that too many people are actually looking at your content. Like, I'd have to, if I was guessing an average, you'd be looking at, I don't know, 45, 50,000 on most of her videos. Anyway.
Above my pay grade, boys. I 38 posts on Instagram. That's my. How many?
You're a quality man. Quality over quantity for you.
How many views has one of yours got though, Croaks?
What views?
You do reels?
I've done one reel.
Yeah, 6,000. 6,000 on your reel. How good's that?
Yeah, there you go.
Jen's getting 18.
Did you team up with someone doing it?
Well, Viv did it.
Viv made it.
Viv made it.
That's pretty good, Croaks.
Did you do it with your shirt off?
It was the Wollongong.
He was winning races.
Wollongong one. I think it was Collis's dancing, actually. Got us over the line.
Got to put kids in there, I reckon. That could be good for the algorithm.
Lily's first fun run day too.
Yeah. Anyway, there's three people talking about social media that don't have a fucking idea about social media for you. Shock's Black Friday sale is here. Hey, Inside Running Podcast listeners, this Black Friday, Shock's has the deals you've been waiting for. For a limited time only, enjoy up to 32% off their top-rated headphones designed for runners and athletes like you. Whether you need the all-day comfort of Open Fit Air, the premium audio of Open Fit, the marathon-tested durability of Open Run, or the versatility of Open Swim Pro, which are perfect for swimming and trail running. And here's the even better part. Use IRP15, that's 15, at checkout to unlock an extra $15 saving on top of the sale prices. But don't wait too long. These discounts disappear after December 2nd. Click the link in the show notes to grab yours now. Don't miss out on your best deal of the year with Shock's. What are we doing? Thanking some Patreon supporters. Who you got, Croaks?
I've got Grant Archer this week. Grant's from Adelaide. His best 5K and 10K times came during the 2016 Greenbelt Half Marathon, where he ran 97 minutes. Marathon best of 3:53 at the 2016 Cadbury Marathon. And I believe he has been part of the Royal Australian Air Force, or is currently in the Royal Australian Air Force, and he's also a lawyer. So, thanks for your support, Grant.
Good on you, Grant. Who you got, Moose?
I got Lucas Pilkington from Burnie in Tasmania. Strava's locked down, but according to his bio, has run 32.28 for 10K. That was at last year's Lonnie 10, and 71.43 at the 2023 Sunshine Coast Half. He has also run 15.53 at the Devonport Park Run. All right, here you go. Here's a good little comparison one. 32.28, well, 71.43.
32.28 is better than 15.53.
It's nearly split that on the way
Is
through.
it better than 71.43?
No, I'm going the 10K. 32.28.
Pretty close, isn't it?
I reckon it's pretty close.
Yeah, I don't know. Put it in the calculator, Croaks.
Oh, actually, I reckon maybe the half. Maybe the half, just from a most people don't convert quite as well from the 10 to the half, and I reckon it's almost on par. Because I know people that I coach that can probably run 32 minutes or just under, but like struggle running sort of 71.43 for the half.
Nah, but ladies.
Okay.
Some of our best ladies on the road might run 31.30, but then they can run 69 flat.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks, Lucas, for your support. I'm going to thank Tom Roberts from Sydney. He's ran 17.44 at the Curl Park Run, 37.50 at last year's Runaway Sydney 10K, and his best half came during last year's Sydney Marathon. Geez, we could pop that off easy, couldn't he? Like, it's that's not the fastest first half at Sydney. So massive thanks, Tom, Lucas, and Grant, for your support of the Inside Running podcast. If you like what we do on this show and it brings you value, you can support us at patreon.com/Inside Running Podcast. You get the show early on a Monday night as opposed to Wednesday, and you get the uncut version of the show. So we just upload it straight after we've spoken. We get early interviews. So people today got Lindsay Flanagan, which is coming out this weekend. You also get Road to Valencia, Chris O'Giordo. Had Brad Carterfeld on there last week as well, Croaks. That was good from you to get here. He's going to absolutely destroy that Australian 45 record this weekend, isn't he?
I reckon he will, yep.
So all those, it's kind of like a different feed over there. You get a code to put in your Spotify, put it in your Apple podcasts, and then you get a different feed of the show each and every week. Running news, boys. Shout out to Axel Coffee for bringing you these results. Fun fact, Axel is steeped with a competition history, with the owners and key staff competing on the world stage, leading to Axel's crew winning the Australian Barista Champion title 3 years running, and even winning the World Barista Championship in 2022. So they know what they're doing, and the coffee is going to be amazing. Give Axel a go. Jump online to grab a great deal this Black Friday. It is this Friday, Croaks. Sale ends December 2nd, or why not find your closest store? Coffee good in Fiji, Moose?
No, coffee no good here, mate. This is drinking milk over here. Certainly missing coffee. That's one thing I'm missing. And you know the beer's not that great either.
Well,
Fiji bitter.
What's their local beer?
Fiji bitter, Fiji gold. I don't love it.
No
I'm
craft
tolerating
beers
it,
going around?
No. Oh, you can buy Australian beer, but like you can get a stubby of, say, pale ale from Little Creatures for about $15. But I'm not doing that.
Oh, really? Is everything else cheaper over there, or is it like more expensive?
Nah, not on the island out here. We're like in an all-inclusive like package, but we've got to pay for drinks still. It's expensive. Okay. You're on an island. There's nowhere else to eat, so you get stitched up. Yeah.
I'm going to kick things off with the 5K championships up in Queensland. Sub-14 run up there from Charlie Moore, 18 years old. He ran 13.58. Kieran the Milkman Perkins was second in 14.24, and Kyle Louth was third in 14.27. Greta Johnson, she's also 18. She won the women's in 17.23. Tamara Carvolth was second in 17.31. And Cecilia Kubicki Garcia, coached by Guy Walters, boys, at Run to PB, was third in 17.36.
Yeah.
So quick times up there.
And Brady, speaking of old Addy runners, Tamara was a Addy runner back in like 2012.
Was she?
Oof. Yeah. Yep.
Dark hair?
Not sure. But you don't remember the name?
I think I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do.
I don't remember the name.
Oh,
okay.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. So that was some quick times up there. Do we know much about Charlie running 13:58 as an 18-year-old?
No, but I did see a photo from this meet where Timmy Vincent was on the front. So I've got a feeling that he may have been doing a bit of pacing for the group up there.
Yeah, it looks smooth as well, I read. Like maybe 2.5, 3K. So,
Big gap, though, like 13:58 to 14:24.
Huge gap,
Nearly
really.
200 metres, isn't it? Or would be 200 metres for sure. There were some 5Ks over in Adelaide as well. So they had the Adelaide Distance Series over there. Looked like it was maybe tacked on to a Saturday afternoon, evening athletics meet. Caitlin Adams won the women's in 15:53. There'd be a bit of a tune-up for Zatopek, you'd be thinking. And in the men's race, that was won by Jacob Cox. Only 5 women in the women's race, 14 in the men's, and they had 12 under 15 minutes. So depth is starting to come along in South Australia with some, no Jacob. You got Jacob Cox, but no Riley Cox, no Isaac Hayne, no Adrian Potter. Some of the names that we're familiar with, not
Matt
quite
Clark.
there. No Matt Clark. Jonathan Harris was second in 14:33. And William McCain was third in 14:34. So pretty close for the minor places there. What do you got, Moose? NCAA cross country.
Yeah, the big deal over there. What do they call it? Big show or something?
Big dance.
Always a good big dance, maybe. Big dance. So there's divisions over there, 1, 2, 3, and NAIA. We follow Division 1. It seems to be where all the big schools are at. So we have a lot of Aussies over there. I think there was like 40 or something competing, but the best place from an Australian was Amy Bunnage, who we have followed through her junior career over here. She won Zatopek 3K last year, I believe, and she was 4th. So 10 seconds behind the winner, Doris Lemngole from Alabama. So that's a massive. If we call her a freshman because it's her first year there.
Yeah, I saw the results. It has her as like a is it a sophomore. It has it. Yeah, it doesn't have it doesn't have it down as a freshman.
Maybe, I'm not sure why, but still, that's a big run from her in what I think is her first race there. So, fellow Aussie, Kyra Moore, finished 60th. Amy runs at Stanford University, which is very academic as well. I know that she got a really high enter score, like a great result. She's a smart cookie. The best in the men's was Charles Sprott, who finished in 32nd. What score does he go for?
He's at Wake Forest. Same one that Zach Faccioni went to.
Do we know what state Charles is from?
I'll have a look.
New York, like around in New York, isn't it?
Oh no, you mean like in Australia?
Oh, in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Australia.
I thought you meant where.
Because I haven't heard of him before. I haven't heard of Charles Sprott. The race was won by defending champion Graham Blanks from Harvard, and Adam Spencer was 45th, Doug Buckleridge 43rd. So that's some decent results. I'm not sure. I reckon Adam Spencer's finished a lot higher than that before in the past.
It's a long way
but
for
he's
a
a
1500 metre guy.
15 guy. Yeah, although Ollie Hoare did pretty well at cross, didn't he?
He's also a 1500 metre guy who's an Olympian. There's not many of those in the field.
Yeah, that's right. I know that. You've got to consider that, don't you? Probably not over the moon about that 45th. BYU won both team titles.
Yeah, it's pretty see the guy's shoe come off. He ended up coming second.
Yeah, that was cool. Did see that.
Cold over there too.
Oh, wet and gross.
So imagine that running with one shoe on icy ground.
Yeah, it looked horrible actually.
What state's he from, Croaks? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm on his profile now. Like I'm having a look to see where he ran some of his PBs. So I've got a feeling he may be from Queensland, but not 100% sure. He's run
screaming it there.
14:52 at Noosa Bolt. His 3K PB must have been at the 12th of March. So he must have run like national 3K champ, 7:59. Yeah, because I went onto the Wake Forest website as well, because you know how often in their bios they have like their high school and stuff, but that wasn't on there. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it was Queensland.
That's right.
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, here we go. No, I think I might have found. Yep. So he
he's with Kieran Perkins in this photo on his Instagram.
Yeah, and he's got that singlet BAA from what's that, Brisbane?
Academy of Athletics or something like that.
Maybe was that Jaden Russ's group up there in Queensland? Yeah. Okay. So pretty confident saying he's from Queensland.
He ran 14:06 in Feb 2022. Decent run.
Isn't it funny how like we have so many athletes over in the US and we don't really know, like they sort of, I guess, fly under the radar because they're so young when they first go over there, and we don't really follow the junior athletics unless someone like Cam Myers is in a diamond league, and then they go over there and it's like, oh, this guy's just run sub 4 minutes for the mile, and then they come back and some continue and some don't. It's we've certainly got a lot of athletes over there. It also shows, I suppose, what potential we do have as a country.
Yeah. For those wondering, Wake Forest is south of New York. You got New York, Washington, and then you got Wake Forest University near North Carolina, Virginia, in that area. Not sure if anyone was wondering that, but that's that answer. New South Wales Milers Club, Croaks.
Yeah, so they had a 1,500 there. Tom March got the win there in 3:45, and the women's race was won by Claudia Mika in 4:27. And then I'm not sure if you guys heard during the week, Moose, you probably haven't over in Fiji, but World Athletics have announced a World Athletics Ultimate Championship that will be run like every second year. Have you heard of anything about this, Moose?
No, not really. No, I haven't.
Yeah, so the first one's going to be from the 11th to the 13th of September in 2026 in Budapest. So what they're trying to do is, obviously they have World Championships one year, and then the next year World Athletics wanted to have some big championship that's not a World Championships, but there's at least a fair bit on the line for it. So the athletes will be competing for a share of US $10 million prize pot with $150,000 for the ultimate champions. There's no heats. It's a straight final. The way the fields are determined, so the Olympic champion, the world champion, and the Diamond League champion are automatic, and then they go to the rankings. There's also no maximum on how many athletes per country. Athletes will be competing in their country singlets. The only events that they won't be having is the 10,000 metres or steeple, as well as discus, men's triple jump, and women's hammer throw. It's going to happen every second year. It's going to run over 3 days, and the sessions are going to go for three hours each over 3 days. And obviously 2028 will be an Olympic year, so this will happen after the LA Olympics.
Okay. Do you think they got some pressure from that Grand Slam track? They're like, hang on, we need something innovative as well here?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess it's good for the athletes. There seems to be a lot more money. In the last year, the amount of money that's been thrown at the sport at the top level seems to be a fair bit higher than it's been in the past.
Yeah, the rich get richer though, Croaks. Don't they?
True.
This is only for the top tier guys. This isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that in every sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
The big dogs get the big paychecks. They get the big contracts.
We've had this discussion, even look at NAS in Australia for the sports, and even like Swimming Australia, for example, when I was there, it's like the top athletes who make a heap of money elsewhere still get the most money from the federation, and they probably don't need it quite as much as that fringe athlete where they might make it in a year or two, but they're just not willing to, go living on 2-minute noodles while they do that.
I think it's different when a federation, like that's a scholarship program, right? Whereas this is the top end, this is the pinnacle of the sport. We're trying to get as many viewers as we can. Like, let's make a spectacle of it. Like that should be the big dogs getting the big checks, but at the scholarship, at the federation development level, I don't think it should work like that.
I agree.
That's a big debate, though, isn't it? That's a big debate.
Yeah, and look, even the money that we're talking, like, it's still pretty insignificant compared to your golf, your tennis, your basketball. Like, it's $150,000 what's that? That's like 5 minutes of a basketballer on court. They make that.
Isn't it nothing?
These results are brought to you by Axel Coffee, making great coffee every day. Shop up to 50% on coffee orders online now. Offer ends December 2nd, 2024. Simply head to axelcoffee.com.au. Listener question, Croaks.
Yeah, actually, this is a good one. So in the past, we've been quite critical of, positive split marathons and getting your pacing wrong. So this question has come in from morepork_73 on Instagram. At what point does a negative split mean you just paced it wrong?
Ooh, good question.
All right, let's just use my marathons as an example then. And specifically Berlin in 2017. It was I went through in 70 minutes flat, and then I ran 68:40. Okay, have I paced that wrong?
No, I think that's pretty good because I think that's reasonable.
Does it matter though? Like, so did you pick it up? I was next year, I reckon, that day. Did you pick it up?
I've got a video. I actually watched a video of us together from a crowd, someone in the crowd. No, like a couple of days ago.
Jeez, you're busy, aren't you? Watching videos from 2017. Yeah, I reckon. But see, I don't think you picked it up until 10K to go. So I think you probably have left too much out there because you've closed so hard. Because we were still together.
I paced it wrong. But I ran a massive PB that day. You've got to look at the goals you have for the race to determine whether. Yeah, exactly. So if my goal was to run 2:20 that day and I ran 68:40, I have not paced it wrong. I've nailed it because I've run 68:40. I've put as much time underneath it as I could, doing it in a smart manner. But if my goal was to run 2:18 flat, then yeah, I've paced it wrong.
That was the first time you did break 2:20, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's just well paced and you've had a positive experience. You're
all
like,
right. So
how much time can I get under there?
Because I was similar, Moose. I was like 69:45 and then sub 68 for the second half for my PB. So it's almost a 2-minute negative split.
So you're on 67 something for that second half at BY.
Yeah, it's just under 68.
What's your fastest second half, Moose? Croaks might have you.
No, his PB would have been way faster.
Nah, but didn't you bank heaps of time, Moose, in your first half?
No, I didn't. But I think it would have been around.
Geez, you could be on it, Croaks.
No, but he's run 60. Like he's run 267s back to he's had
The second Berlin, I went through in 69 flat, and I've run 2:16:40.
Yeah, so that one, yeah.
So I've run 67:40 there.
But the BY BY you banked time, didn't you? That's like your one marathon where you positive split?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think you still got me with a 67:40. I reckon I was 40, maybe 67:43 or 44 or something.
Oh, I have to look it up, Zach. I'll get some stats for us.
Who the fuck cares? It's the second half.
Could be Croaks' new introduction, I'm thinking, for the show. The man who closed the second half quicker than anyone else.
I'd take a 2:14 over whatever I closed my second half in.
Anyway,
these are the wins you need, Croaks.
It is a good question.
Yeah.
It's worth a discussion, and I don't think there's a percentage amount you can put on it because I think everybody has a different context of their race has a different context. The results have different context and are based on their current situation. So, we talk about someone going in and having a good experience with the marathon. So a negative split for them is like you're never going to pace it wrong if you have a good experience. So it doesn't work to just go, I'm going to go try and run as fast as I can in a marathon either, because you just can't really go in with that mindset, not really knowing how you're going to pace the race. So you have to have some indication. Otherwise, if you go in with that sort of mindset, then you're just going to blow it. You really need to establish what success would look like for that particular run to work out if you paced it wrong or it was just a good old negative split, positive experienced run.
But if someone's pulling 10 minutes off their back half, you probably just haven't gone hard enough the first half.
Well, it depends what you want out of the race.
Yeah. If you want to get your optimal performance, your last marathon you're ever going to run, you're super fit, what can you race a marathon in?
So, yeah, let's say optimal performance then, and let's say you look at those 60, like they're 218, 216, 214. So I'm going to say the 214, having a positive split was not the optimal performance that day, but I'm also going to say that running 216 with a 67.40 back half was also not an optimal performance. I could have run faster that day if they were closer together. That's what I would be thinking, especially my physiology being slow twitch dominant and having limitations on how fast I can actually run in the second half, being limited by just my physiology. So like me as a runner should be running a very even race to get the best out of me.
So you think you left a 2:13 on the table at BY if you got that pacing right?
No, I don't. Because there's more elements to it.
Yeah, it was tailwind on the way out, wasn't it?
Yeah, and there's this. So what happened in that race was that I went out and I ran way too quick. And I ran and I gave myself a chance that I would never have given myself because I had a rush of blood. And most rush of bloods don't pay off in a marathon. Like 99 times out of 100, they get you in a hole and a trap. But this rush of blood gave me this level of confidence early in the race that I'd never felt before. And I'm running around people that were at a level that were beyond what I ever thought I could. And I just had this change of mindset because of that initial rush of blood put me in a position where I thought anything can happen. And that, like, it's the opposite to what I advise most people to do. But that positive split there, like, if I had have gone out and run through in 68 that day, I would never have been able to close harder than that because I didn't have that whirlwind of drive behind me thinking that I could do something special that day.
We've answered the question, haven't we? For more pork 73.
I don't know.
Sorry, underscore 73. Yeah. Depends on the situation you're in.
There's no answer.
Yeah.
It's a hard question to answer.
Well, we've had a chat about it.
I think deep down you'll know, like, if you've got way too much left in the tank with like 5K to go and your last 5K is like way faster than everything else, then yeah, you've probably left too much in the tank. Whereas if it's only a couple of minutes difference, then yeah, maybe you could have run faster, but as you know, you've already said, like, you come away from a positive experience, and if it's a PB, then you've probably paced it pretty well, I reckon. And
you were in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Might not have been exactly, but you got it in the ballpark for a good race.
It's like, for example, if you're running like 20-minute 5K splits and then you start running 17 minutes for the last 5K, like
heavy legs,
and you've just basically got way too much left in the tank, then yeah, you've paced it wrong.
Yeah. Thanks, more pork underscore 73 for your question. Couple of whispers here, boys. You're over the drama in Norway. I know we've got a lot of Norwegian listeners, and I thought this was worth putting in there. Did you hear about this?
I did have a read about this, actually. Had a little deep dive.
Nordaz got picked in the European cross-country team, but then resigned his spot due to corrupt selection committee, which picked Philip Ingebrigtsen over his training partner, which is Per Savalla. So this was his quote: "The last spot was between Philip and Per when he selects a better friend and colleague over someone who has objectively proven better form. It's such a corrupt leadership that I cannot accept it." That's what Nordaz told NRK. So a bit of drama there with selection. It's which I don't mind that from Nordaz.
I don't like this from Nordaz.
Oh, don't you?
I don't like it from Nordaz.
Nah, stick with your guns. If you believe in something, put a line in the sand and say, "No, I'm not sticking with that."
Nordaz, so he came out, remember, he was like the people's champ there at one point, but then he sort of rubbed a few people up the wrong way over the last year, hasn't he?
Why don't you like it, Moose?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, if you start to start to look at discretion calls like that in selection, and then start to put ultimatums saying, oh, I'm not running unless you select this bloke. Like, that is not the way to handle this. That's going to ruin the sport. It's going to create so much division there. I mean, Nordas's going to go, like, let's say they said, oh, sorry, yeah, we fucked up. Philip, you're out. Nordas, you're in. Nordas's going to have to show up to Team Norway after with Jakob there, with the rest of the people there, and he's not going to be liked. Like, that's not a team environment. We're talking team here. This bloke's like, and it wasn't just, if you have a look at the actual form and the results from these two fellas, it wasn't as clear cut as Nordas is making out. Like, there was actual claims for Philip to be on this team over Svella. So, yeah, this is not the way to handle this sort of stuff. Like, understand, you make a comment, you say, hey, I disagree with this, but pulling out, like, you're just creating more controversy over there. I don't like it.
And think about it if the same thing happened here. Like, the selectors make a call and then the different training groups basically say, well, I'm pulling out because I think my training partner should have been picked over that person.
Yeah, I didn't think about how it would cook the team result as well. Like, Nordas would be scoring points for them in cross country. So he's put his own beef
not
first.
only, well, there's that too, but also the team dynamic. Like, that is going to be an awful team dynamic. You basically, like, you want to be going to these things with running for each other. Like, that's why cross country is so good. You talk to those athletes that are out there. They're not running to come 32nd or 33rd. They're running to score as many points as they can because they know their teammates busting their ass to score points too. If you've got that sort of division within the team, you're never going to pull that out. That sort of deep dive into your emotional state.
And they're athletes, not selectors. And like the whole thing about bringing the sport into disrepute, you know, like this sort of thing happens in any other sport where you start basically calling, selectors biased and cheats and things like that. It's pretty slippery slope.
Yeah, I started thinking about it to an Athletes Victoria race. Like, if someone wasn't picked for your Gels Park team and then they acted like this, you wouldn't have it, would you? You've raised really good points. Yeah, you're not coming back in for Sandown. Go find another club.
We'll take him at Geelong.
Yeah. Hey, Moosh, you've been listening the last couple of weeks about this Stewie dog exhibition race. You been hearing about it?
Yeah, you really like this one, don't you?
I've been digging deep. The DMs have been lighting up about this as well. People very high up at the race organisation have been contacting me to get a few points across. So $4,000 in prize money, 8 athletes only. Bit of a rare selection of athletes as well. I'm not sure if you've seen the field that they've put together here. You got Stewie, so it's going to be a mile on the sand of the dog racing track in between dog races. So I know there was a lot
sand?
of it, on like sandy kind of surface. You know where the dogs race?
What?
You watch dogs much? Can't imagine
well,
you watch
I've
dogs
watched
that
them,
much.
but I don't know what that surface is like.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean, I have watched them.
The dogs seem to
not in
cover the
person,
ground
though.
pretty well on there, so they must
true.
be okay for the dogs. And I know.
Yeah, but you ever seen a dog run on the beach?
No, don't live near the beach.
Very
mate.
good at it.
Are they? Yeah, okay.
Humans running on the beach, no good on it. No good.
So that will be a challenge there as well. I know there was a lot of excitement about potentially a dog being in the field, which they have confirmed that there will not be a dog in the race. So missed opportunity if you ask me. Stewie's off scratch. Then you got Riley Bryce 60 metres, Matt Patton 100, Tom Forster 110, Nath Pearce. I don't know how Roman Nath has got to start in this race, but he's going to be off 150. And then you got Tess Kersop Cole 250 metres. Also an extended whisper, no longer with On. She was in that On squad for a while. I think she's gone to Gav Burren, who is Abby Caldwell's coach. So there's a whisper on top of a whisper there. They're thinking they're going to show it on Channel 78 if there's no other dog or horse race that they can show at the same time. So I have no idea what's happening here, boys.
This is very random, and I'm sort of torn as to like whether we should be giving this like coverage. Like I don't know. Like I'm guessing Stewie's getting paid pretty well for this outside of the prize money. Because
Sandown Greyhound Racing Club and Sportsbet are two people putting it together.
Because I just don't see the upside for Stewie other than him filling his pockets full of cash, like good cash, not $4,000 in prize money, but like a good amount of money, because I don't know. Like, I feel like he's got bigger fish to fry than doing this sort of stuff.
Controversial industry too, dog racing. Like, had some issues over the past, like, couple of years, if you've paid attention to any news.
With what happens...
Like,
what happens after they retire and stuff?
Well, weren't there? There was a big scandal a few years ago, I think, and I'm not that well placed to comment on it. But wasn't there, like, baiting, like, incidents where they'd get, you know what I mean? Like, there was trying to get the dogs to run faster and, like, live baiting, like, stuff like that. I'd have to Google it, but I'm pretty sure there was a big inquiry into it and stuff.
I think that just the life of the dog after they're done, there's just no value to the race industry anymore, and I just not sure how many of them make them to homes or not. I thought that's what a lot of the controversy was, but I'm not exactly sure. I'm not around it. I know a lot of people. I know the campaign out there is like stop dog racing or whatever.
Anyway,
stop greyhound racing.
Yeah, running meets dog racing this Saturday night supposedly, and yeah, we'll see how it happens. We might not talk about it ever again. But, that's there. Tassie, there's another whisper. Tassie's got a fast 10K coming March 16th. Bluff to boat ramp. $4,000 for the win, which will make it the richest road race in Tasmania, which is crazy to think about because they've got Lonnie, Bernie run the bridge. Elite athlete support available. Hit up Brian Lyons. I think Zach is doing some work for him there as well. And my other one's for you, Moose. I had to fill out the old KK slip yesterday at a family get-together. You write there's a couple of things down on the piece of paper where you want to, your request for your KK present. And I started looking for running-related things, $50 or under. There's not many things out there. And then I started looking for running books. And the only running books that come out at the moment are about like charity runners doing challenges or like ultra runners doing ultra kind of challenges. Like, there's no books on 5K, 10K, half marathoners doing like give me a book on Helena Beery. They don't exist. Mm-hmm. There's nothing there.
I know. And yeah, no, I'm with you on that. It's slim pickings. You look at the book collection I have, and it is filled with some absolute gold. Like, the problem is that most of them are written after everyone's retired. And so it's like a retrospective account of their career and a celebration sort of thing, talk about their childhood after they're sort of done. It's what sports people do, isn't it? They retire, they write a book. Carragher did the same thing. What's his name? I got a good one from the other day. Alan Culpepper.
Meb Keflezegi.
Yeah.
Mo Farah did one. I reckon he was maybe still competing too. Des Lindens.
Yeah, I reckon, yeah.
But not like, is it Americans seem to do it. And I was thinking today, because the dominance of East Africa, like some of these names we kind of see, well, they're there and then they kind of like disappear. And is it like that they're not relatable for the Western world to then publish books on them?
See, I reckon a Bikili book would be good now, given he's sort of towards the back end of his career. But I personally don't feel like what he did in training has been documented that well.
Yeah,
and like I'd love to hear about his career and his upbringing and his training, and I feel like now's the time for somebody like him.
There's a bit of chat about Bikili in Haile Gebrselassie book. Like, they talks about him coming through, and it does talk about their training a little bit, but that book didn't go into a ton of specifics about like sessions or anything like that. There's a shortage of books on the Africans, especially recently. Like, there's, I think it's Kip Keino of Kenya. Then there was the Paul to Guts book was good. I like that. They were pretty raw back then when they used to talk. I definitely prefer the older books when there was no sort of political correctness involved. I'm talking the old books, like the Herb Elliott, like the John Landy, where he'll call someone soft in the book, and it's just some brilliant stuff. Also, even into the Road Kings stage, that was a brilliant era for books where you like Salazar, Deke, Dick Beardsley.
Or the Jewel in the Sun book, that's good.
Jewel in the Sun, exactly that one. That's what I'm thinking. And there was Frank Shorter's books, Bill Rogers.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Great books, great era for runners writing proper books. Not little bits and pieces, like they're going to write everything and they're going into detail. Those guys used to keep diaries, like Mona's diary. Like Mona's got a book and it's pretty specific, but he could probably bring another book out now because that only finished, I think, at Atlanta, maybe, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Moana?
it was,
96.
Not 100% sure.
It was real early in his career when it finished. In the long run, it definitely needs a part 2.
Even the books that Bauman and the Men of Oregon, so about the programs or running with the buffaloes.
Yeah, that was a good book. Yeah,
those ones are good too.
This is the point I'm making. All these books have come out 10 plus years ago.
Yeah.
Paul Radcliffe got one out, Mo Farah. I'm trying to think what's maybe come the last 10 years. Definitely no Australian running books.
Well, do you think it's a sign of the times as well that books are falling by the wayside for Netflix and TV?
No, but type in best running books of 2024, and they're still publishing 10 or 15 books, but they're just about people doing challenges or ultras and stuff like that. So I think there's still a market there. How many books do you reckon?
Yeah, we need to write.
Yeah, if you were going to get it published, how many copies would they want you to sell to get a book deal?
No idea.
So, a question for you then. Who would be your top 3 people that you'd want a book written on now?
Good question.
And obviously, as Moose was saying, often it's...
honesty.
Often it's after they've retired and the book captures pretty much their full career. So, obviously, you've said Helen O'Beary, but, she's still got a fair bit maybe to go. Somebody that's maybe retired in the last 10 years that you'd love to see a book on.
Hisham El Garouge.
Yeah, El Garouge would be good.
Yeah, haven't seen that.
The 1500 metre world record holder, for people wondering.
Has there been a book on Rhodesia?
Nah, Kipchoge's would be too polished. I feel like it would, and I don't feel like that would be a good read. You want someone just going off, just going hard.
Yeah, just someone really honest. That's the one.
Zane Robertson.
He wants to tell it all.
Would a Galen Rupp book sell if he was honest?
I would buy it for sure. I think that's an actual real interesting story that we haven't.
Yeah, Dathan would be good as well.
You want people with a number of layers, don't you? He went to a few different training groups. Because didn't Des Linden pack up when he went to her group? At the end there, Hanson's?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure there was, Jordo will know more. Jordo, if that's untrue, I might have to cut that if you let me know in the next 24 hours as well.
What about the Vivian Chariot? She's been around.
Yeah.
She's done it all.
Yeah, it's a good question, Croaks.
I even think a book by Safana Sun would be awesome too.
Great, wouldn't it? Yeah.
How cool! She would be so funny.
Oh, even who was the absolute gun female marathoner that was winning everything pre-super shoes, in the 2000s, or 2007, 8. Oh, what was her name?
The Russian?
No, Kenyan.
Yeah, not sure, Croaks.
Oh, it's going to kill me. I'll find it by the end of the show. Yeah,
you'll get it soon. Yeah, we might do a thing. Write in and let us know who would make a good author for a book about running. But yeah, that was. And then Moose, $50. What can you sell at a running store that's under $50? Put on your KK list.
Well, a pair of Gooders running sunglasses, $49. That polarized running sunnies. That's pretty easy. You can buy them in different styles too, different colours. So easy one. I still wear my Gooders. I just chuck them around the car. Doesn't matter. They're only $49. You can sit on them, whatever. But they're actually really valuable for your eyes. And we don't we talk a lot about wearing hats now and sunscreen and all that, but still, I've got sun damage in my eyes, so I have to wear sunglasses all the time now, and so that's a good one. Also, arm sleeves.
Bucket hats jogging.
Well, they're not under $50.
Are
mate.
they?
They're not under 50. No.
I was jogging today in the rain and wore a bucket hat.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I've got a couple of running bucket hats. You want one that sort of breathes really well so it doesn't feel like hot and sweaty under you.
That mesh.
You're also a bucket hat that has a loop that goes under your chin so that when it blows, you don't have to go chase it. That's what I got. I got one of them.
Not under 50
Your
bucks.
socks, always good. Socks, like different types of socks out there. People don't appreciate a good sock. What else under 50? I mean, not a lot under 50 in the world these days.
That's what I was thinking. Might have to up it to 100 for the KK next year.
Found it, boys. Mary Catani.
Oh, yeah, Mary.
Won New York 4 times. Was it 4? Yeah, won New York 4 times, won London 3 times. I think she held the world record at one point, or world record for women's only races.
Okay.
2:17 at London.
Did she ever retire? Just I cannot remember seeing like a last race, just gone.
Yeah, like on a Wikipedia page, it's pretty much stopped at 2019. Here we go. She announced her retirement on the 22nd of September 2021. Yeah.
Missed that. Anyway, Moose on the Loose. What do you got?
Do you know? Oh, yeah. Sorry, go on.
Nah, you go.
Moose
What
on
do you
the
have?
Loose, yeah. Oh, Bree, we stayed on the main island the first night before we got on this ferry to come out to the island we're at now, and Bree went for a run around town, and I did too. So I went for 30 minutes or something, came back, and then tag teamed. Bree went out. I had no problems whatsoever. No one said anything. Bree ran the exact same route that I did, only 20 minutes later. Got heckled on multiple construction sites by the workers that are sitting out the back of the resorts. Came back and said, I didn't really feel like that's safe out there. And I'm like, fuck, I didn't even consider that once. And it got me thinking, maybe this is like a cultural thing. And then thought, fuck that. That's not, you can't, that's a cop-out, that, saying, we just do that over here. Or that we're just not caught up to respecting women in this country, or whatever it is. And it still happens. Like, I don't think that would happen if Bree ran around Anglesea anymore. Maybe it would, but it would be really rare, I think. Perhaps it happens in cities. I'm not exactly sure, because I don't run in cities, or she doesn't either. But over here, like the first run off the plane, just a real poor example, I think, of that whole conversation around women feeling safe when they run, and so stereotypical. Like, I don't know how blokes can do that now and not feel like an absolute dickhead when they do it.
Well put. I'd like to think that wouldn't happen in my town as well, but yeah, I'm not sure.
You would like to think that, wouldn't you? And then if you do think, because chances are you know the person that's doing it.
Yeah, we know someone that knows them. It's just like,
Yeah. And I would make sure that if that happened, it got back, that's not fucking acceptable. I mean, one, it's my wife. Like, I don't want her to feel unsafe in any way ever. But two, in general, the fucking society, like, pull your head in.
That's so shit though that it can be the exact same action for, like, we'll do the same at our place. Like, I'll go for a run at 6 a.m. in the middle of winter and it's dark, and I don't think twice about where I'm running. My wife will do the same thing the day after, and she has to think about route planning. If something happens, what shop are you running into? Should I take my phone? Like, it's bullshit. Complete different, exactly the same activity is a complete different experience for the other gender.
And the thing about that too is that she's probably much better fighter than you are.
Oh yeah. I'd back that up for sure. That's good. What's going up? We've got the Vic 5K champs Thursday night. Valencia and Fukuoka. Jack Rayner Payson Fukuoka Marathon and Valencia. We've got Izzy Bat Doyle and Andy Buchanan in action there. Keep an eye out for guessing competitions on our social media around Valencia. Axel Coffey's putting up a bit of a prize there. Australian record's going to go down, boys. What are we thinking? Got a big chance, don't we? Anyone looked at the weather? What's the weather doing?
I'll have a look now, but
that up, Croaks.
I reckon there's a good chance of the women's record getting broken just based on how fit Izzy is at the moment.
Okay. What about my boy Andy? Don't think he's a chance.
I know. I saw like a bit of a down. It was like a 90K week a couple of weeks ago. Know anything about that?
Achilles niggle, I heard. One of my sources in Bendigo said they would be certain he'd break the record if that niggle didn't happen, but they still reckon he's in with a shot. So, yeah. But they're still fairly confident.
You can't say someone's certain to
Well,
break
they
the
were
record.
very confident he would, and now they're gone down to like 50-50. But I think he's fit, like he's got over it and he's ready to go.
Sunday looks like it's 12 to 21 in Valencia with a wind 13k an hour, gusts of 19. So that's not too bad.
That's easy. There's a lot of cover on that course. Heaps of pacemakers. Yeah. Izzy Moose, can she do it?
Yeah, I'm still tossing up. She can do it. She can definitely do it. Whether she does it or not, or whether she needs a couple of other marathons under her belt, I'm going to say she doesn't do it, but she comes real close, within 15 seconds of it.
Ooh, jeez, 15 seconds. That's getting tight. Then Chriso and Jordo as well. You're doing the episode with them tomorrow night, aren't you? Get their predictions.
Yeah, well, at the moment I am. At the moment I've got to. I'm going to a new hotel tomorrow night, so we'll just see how we go.
Okay. I might be called up.
I'll know by 4 p.m. by the time we get there how the Wi-Fi is.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to do the recap episode with him, Croaks? Do you want that one?
Yeah, I can do that.
You do that. I want to listen to the next 2 weeks. Talking about listening, this weekend's interview, thanks to the Gold Coast Marathon, Lindsay Flanagan interviewed her today. Croaks isn't happy, Moose. She didn't know who he was. Paced her. He's talking about how close they are. Yeah, Lindsay, yeah, we're good mates. Paced her at Gold Coast 2022. Asked her in the interview. No idea. Did not know him.
Mate, unlike you, I go up there to do a job. I don't make pacing all about me.
You do make it all about yourself, Croaks. That's why you don't have to. Remember when you were having a crack at me that I pulled out and I didn't say goodbye to them? I'm like, hey, that's why you don't have to do that stuff. You're a transaction to the females out there, Croaks. You do a job, they don't remember
that's right.
you.
Yeah, she wouldn't remember me. She saw my back for 36k, so she wouldn't know what I look like.
And then she did say, Moose, that it was a year that Croaks pulled off and ran finished it off. I think, would you run 223, 224?
Yeah, 223. 223.20 or 30, yeah.
So then she did start to remember you when I told her who you were, and then she's like, oh yeah, I saw that guy at the finish line. He said he shouldn't have run off of me and how hard it was for him in the last 6 or 7k, and she didn't paint a good picture for you, Croaks. Not a good picture at all, but it was a good chat. Good chat. She's good on a microphone, Lindsay. She can hold conversation very well. So enjoy that on, it's on Patreon now, Saturday. Everyone else, thanks to the Gold Coast Marathon. What's coming up in your life, Croaks, between now and next week?
Track tomorrow, and then I'll go out to the track on Saturday night to watch the race. So if anybody's keen for a reasonably fast 5k Saturday night in Canberra, I think entry's closed Thursday night. So we'll have a few guys between sort of 15 minutes and 16:30. So that'll be the weekend. That's about it. Pretty much on holidays now.
Oh yeah.
Well, almost. There's only this week and next week for the kids, but as a relief teacher, it's year 10s have done. They've got year 9, 7s, 8s, 9s got exams this week. So I'm not sure I'm going to be required over the next 2 weeks.
You know when my last teaching day is in primary schools in the state system?
Oh, it's the 17th or something?
20th of December, I think. Friday the 20th. And you're finished already on the 25th of November.
No, our last day for our school is the 6th.
Yeah.
Friday the 6th of December.
And they still get paid the same, Moose. Secondary school as primary school.
Don't come to me for fucking backing on this one.
Bloody joke, isn't it?
You blokes complaining that you're 8 week holidays starting early enough.
No, I only get 5.5 weeks.
I'm casual, Brady, so I don't get paid at all if I don't go to work.
Yeah, but you're rich, mate. You got a battery on the side of your house. When your power goes out, you still can have the lights on. Bruce, what are you doing? You're flying home.
Yeah, flying home, back into it too. Back into work straight off the bat. What else am I doing?
Kick the footy around on Saturday. You got a bit of pre-season work starting with the Anglesea Kangaroos.
Maybe I'll go Thursday night to training to show up.
You're not going to start playing footy.
I gotta just test it though. I got to at least test it. I got to at least see how I can change direction. And if I can't change direction, I'll go and play.
All right, we're going to stop.
tell you now,
practice game.
I can tell you, Moose. Now, I can tell you now, Moose. If you can't run in a straight line, you can't change direction.
You know, there's a Disney movie in the waiting here. The bloke who comes back from 39 years old and gets drafted by the Cats.
You've thought about this, haven't you? In the rookie draft, find a diamond
Just left
in
it
the
a bit
rough.
late. I've just left it a few years too late, maybe.
All right,
Not sure I can jump.
And then
That's
that's
the problem.
and then
I'm
that's
ending
the
this
book-
show.
That's the book that everybody's reading. It's a cross between running and footy book.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can get a book published.
That's a movie. It's a memoir. Does that make another chapter?
It's good to have you back, Moose, but I'm ending this show. See you later, boys.
They are.
Sharks Black Friday deals won't last long. Click the link in the show notes and use the code IRP15 to upgrade your training today.